Thank you, Carrie. Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. A little bit of my background is I started my career as a print journalist in 1992 at the Dexter Leader, and then I was owned by a family at that time, the Leonards, just as the Tolls owned the Milan News Leader and the Saline Reporter. And then I became an assistant editor, and then in 2000, editor of the Chelsea Standard and Dexter Leader. 2006, I moved over to the Saline and Milan publications, and then in 2009 became managing editor of all 8 publications, so 7 in Washoe County and 1 in Wayne County, all weekly newspapers, and the website heritage.com. So as part of that evolution, I've been growing in my career, and our parent company, which it was Journal Register Company, is now Digital First Media. They started something called the Idea Lab, and I was picked among hundreds of journalists, editors, people from circulation, the ad departments across the United States to participate in something called the Idea Lab. And that's where I got to play with digital tools, digital media tools, and social media, and that's where I learned a lot of the things that I'm teaching now in the Media Lab. So what I did is, about a year and a half ago, I put together a proposal for funding for a Media Lab to serve heritage newspapers. And it was among 13 proposals across the United States that were funded, and at that time I started the Media Lab. And then in February, they eliminated the managing editor position that I held, but they created a new position for me, and that was Director of Community Engagement and Editorial Training for Michigan. So I travel across Michigan, and I teach journalists at newspapers, the Oakland Press, the Macomb Daily, and the Morning Sun here at Heritage, about digital media tools that they can use to complement their storytelling, as well as social media tools. And then I also run the Media Lab, which is in downtown Ypsilanti, and that's what I'll be talking about today. This is a public outreach project that I started that brings the audience in the newsroom to develop news sharing partnerships. So what is a community media lab? The idea behind the Media Lab is to bring the audience in the newsroom and train community contributors in digital media. We attract people from across the region. It's now called the Southeast Michigan Media Lab, and I have people come from as far away as Birmingham and Sterling Heights, as well as locally, to get some free instruction at the Media Lab. I set up appointments, and I work with people individually, or they come to our workshops, and I hold about 2 or 3 workshops a month. So we provide a learning-based and collaborative environment, as well as a vehicle for the community to document and chronicle the important events that shape its history, using our newspapers and websites as a vehicle to share that information. And I'll instruct you on how to put together a news release, maybe provide some digital photography, some video, create timelines, use social media to tweet, and post your information on Facebook, maybe start a blog. You could come in and I'll teach you how to write a news release, a story first, and then we always welcome community content. For example, on the left is the Ann Arbor Symphony Orchestra approached us and they wanted us to cover an event. And with the changes in the industry and print media going down, fewer people are subscribing, fewer advertisers as everything migrates online. Our digital audience is growing by leaps and bounds. We have about 500,000 page views a month at heritage.com. And so it's all migrating online. So the space in print gets smaller and smaller because advertisers in print support the number of pages. So as they stop advertising or they migrate their advertising online, the paper gets smaller and smaller. So while you might provide some information or a news release, it might not get in print, but it will get online. So here are some examples. We didn't have the resources to cover their event. They wanted someone to come and review their concert. I said, can you find someone in the community to cover it? And they did. They found a student at U of M, and he wrote a review. And as you can see, we published it online. So we've always welcomed these community contributions, and we're ramping up our efforts to encourage more of it. So this column was provided by the Ann Arbor Symphony Orchestra, which found the student to write. On the right is just a standard press release, or the Saline District Library provided about an upcoming event, and they provided a JPEG, some art to go with it. So again, that was uploaded to our website and shared with the community on our website. So we would just like to see more partnerships like that. We encourage you to turn in your local news. And that's what the Media Lab is all about. So some of the workshops that we've offered there, free to the community, has been on using Google Drive. You can collaborate in Google Drive. It also, there are spreadsheets there, so let's say you can't afford Excel, you can go there. It's Google Drive, it has free Excel. It's like Excel, it's not completely, but what's great about it is that you have documents, you have spreadsheets, and you have forms that can be shared in the cloud. So you don't have to be sharing a spreadsheet and emailing to several people. You can all go to that spreadsheet in the cloud and make changes live, and people will see those changes live. So that was a workshop. We collaborate with the Eastern Michigan University, so a professor from Eastern taught that workshop. It was just 2 hours one evening. We had workshops on blogging, social media, marketing, photography and video, editing video, the Freedom of Information Act and citizen journalism, online safety, visually interesting storytelling, news writing, column writing, AP style basics, and photo editing. And I recruit workshop leaders. If you have some sort of media skill and you'd like to lead a workshop, please approach me. I'd be happy to have you come in. And I also recruit people in public relations, marketing, social media. One of our recent presentations was on the Freedom of Information Act, and that was Ed Valmenti. He used to be the lead blogger for AnnArbor.com, and he wrote on FOIA issues. He's writing a book on FOIA in Michigan right now, so he presented on that to let you know what government documents you have access to. That was just a couple nights ago. All of those workshops are live streamed, so if you didn't want to come to Ypsilanti, you could watch them on heritage.com, and there's a live chat, so you could ask questions as the workshop is live when you're watching it on your computer. Okay. So you can sign up for those events. We're on Facebook, and then I'm also on meetup.com. I recommend if you sign up at meetup.com, this is all free, they will send you emails every time I post a new event. So you'll be notified, and you can decide whether that's something that could benefit you. If you set up an appointment with me, I'll spend however much time you need. There's no limit. So I've helped the Washington Democrats and Saline Chamber of Commerce set up Twitter accounts. I've helped a local business, Live and Liftstrap, set up a YouTube account to share their product demonstration videos. Helped a local senior citizen set up their personal Facebook page and a Craigslist account so she could sell a car. So again, it doesn't have to benefit us, the newspapers, it's also public outreach. So if you want to learn about Twitter or Facebook personally, I'd be happy to show you how to do that. I've helped a local comedian edit her video to insert in her blog. Help local business owner write a news release, and local residents set up blogs that we link to at heritage.com. And most recently, I've been helping the Professional Volunteer Corps set up a Pinterest page and pin photos of volunteers in action. So we're looking for blogging partners. I've been charged with recruiting 100 blogging partners across Michigan, and these are all featured on our websites at all our publications. I've recruited about 60 so far. And this is kind of what it looks like on our website, the name of the blog, the blogger's photo, a little description about what the blog's about, and then it has their latest headlines. So we host this blog roll on our website under our life section. I have a link here, but basically you just go to heritage.com/blog/life. And we have all kinds of topics. If you're interested in education, parenting, movies, animals, retirement, you name it, we have it. There's some hyper-local blogs, which mean like specific to Milan. There's one on, there was a PTO, I think maybe at one of the schools is on there. They have a blog where they write about their activities. So I'm always interested in linking to blogging partners in the community. So if you're with a volunteer organization, a nonprofit, you have an expertise in something, a hobby, and you like to write about it, get with me and then we can share it with the communities. These are just some of our guidelines, and I would email this to you if you are interested. And then all that we ask is that you host our headline widget, which is just a box that has our headlines. So that way we're driving traffic to you by listing you on our website and linking to you, and then you drive it back to us if people reading your blog see some headlines that they might be interested in clicking on. But basically we ask that you blog at least 3 times a week, and I can give you tips on how to make that not seem so overwhelming, such as just one blog post and maybe another blog post might be a photo that you share, or you could curate some content, some local content you would share from maybe Heritage Media or the Milan Eagle or some other publication that is relevant to the topic that you're talking. So, but you want to keep your readers engaged, and that's why we ask that you do it at least 3 times a week. And then if you're blogging about the profession you have, please do not turn your blog into a customer recruitment tool where you are posting the latest offerings you have. Feel free to create a separate blog for your customers. But we're looking for community news and then your expertise, maybe financial planning or accounting and that kind of thing, or hobbies. So the Media Lab is on social media. Please check us out. Like us on Facebook, and that's where our events are posted as well. So anytime we have a free workshop. I also give tips on digital media tools and social media tools. I have a WordPress blog where I write about everything that's going on in the Media Lab, what I've been up to. My latest post was on teaching Twitter, Tout, which is short form video, and Pinterest to the community and to journalists. I also have an About page which talks about the Media Lab, how it got started, our partnerships in the community. And then we're on Twitter at Community Media L, if you want to follow us there. Twitter is great because you can post things live. Like I was taking pictures earlier. There's people getting their breakfast right now. I said I'm at the Milan Senior Center presenting Milan. And then if you use the mention sign, the Milan Chambers are notified, and they can retweet this to their followers. And I just say breakfast first. I took a picture right using Twitter and then shared that. So it went up instantly. So this is part of a presentation actually I did yesterday at the Macomb Daily. We were teaching readers how to contribute community content to their publications. So I was explaining what social media is. It refers to the means of interactions among people in which they create, share, and exchange information and ideas in virtual communities and networks. So where are your customers? That's where you need to be. You need to figure that out. Facebook is primarily where everybody is. I think it's 67% of all internet users are using social media, and then the majority of them are on Facebook, followed. There's a huge gap between Facebook and Twitter, and then Pinterest, YouTube. But this is where, these are the primary spots. Twitter, Pinterest, and Facebook, and then also some of these blogs. I'm on WordPress. There's also Blogger. Tumblr's for a younger audience. Vine is 6-second videos. You'll see a lot of the younger population on Vine. And then Tout is a new tool that we're using. It creates 15-second videos for the public, 45 seconds for media professionals. A lot of media organizations are using this tool now because it's real-time video. So, for instance, when I was here, I created this video. I don't know if I'll play real fast, but I also created this RebelMouse page, which is another tool that you can use to curate all your social media, bring it into one page. So, and then I posted it. It automatically feeds into this page.
Michelle Rogers from the Southeast Michigan Media Lab. Today I'm presenting to the Milan Area Chamber of Commerce. I'm at the Milan Community and Senior Center.
I don't know if you can hear it.
Everyone's gathering and eating breakfast before we start our presentation.
So what's just cool about that is that it's live. So let's say you're a nonprofit, you're holding a fundraiser, and that event is going on all day. Well, you could shoot a tout, which goes live and is easily shared on social media. So you can send it out on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest. You can email it to people, you can text the link to people, and they will see, oh yeah, that event is going on, it's right now, I'm going to head over there. So it's in real time. Here are some examples of how you could use social media. I was working with CTC of Ypsilanti, and they didn't have a lot of Facebook followers, so or Twitter followers. So you can ask your supporters, your audience, to help you out. So I just posted on my Facebook, please help communities that care in Ypsilanti boost its Twitter following before members come in Friday to the Media Lab for instruction in social media, blogging, and contributing community content. And then I also took a photo and I shared it. So that was posted. So you could ask, don't be shy to ask your audience to help you out, to grow your following. And then use Twitter to communicate with others. So as you see, the Milan Area Chamber of Commerce is on Twitter. Their handle is at Milan MI Chamber, and they can tweet about their upcoming events. They can help out members by tweeting maybe if you're having a grand opening or some special event. They can tweet about community events. It's just a way of communicating your news. So here's the Milan Chamber on Twitter. This is what it looks like. They have 207 followers as of last night when I put this together. But I would suggest that you could start following Milan schools, local groups, organizations, businesses, and individuals. And there's an advanced search function. It's twitter.com/search-advanced, where you can narrow down your search. And then look at who they are following or who is following them and follow them. So when I was in charge of the Milan News Leader, I would look at who is following the school superintendent, some teachers, and then I would follow those individuals. And usually out of a courtesy, they follow you back. And that's how you grow your audience and how you grow your reach. So for the Milan Chamber, they could follow local businesses and then follow all the people who are following those businesses. And then they'll get the follows back and they'll grow their reach. And then something, if you see in a tweet an RT, that means that someone is retweeting it, meaning they're sharing their message. They're sharing your message that they saw. Or if they put an MT, that's a modified tweet, so they may comment. So maybe someone saw my tweet about being here and they said, they put MT for modified tweet, good luck, and then they had the rest of my tweet, large audience at the Milan Chamber event. So you can comment on what other people are talking about. Use the mention sign here when you're talking to another entity or person on Twitter. That way they're notified. So for instance, in my tweets I use the mention Community Media Lab, so then I can go ahead and retweet it because it was coming from my personal or professional Twitter account. I have several accounts. And you use the hashtag if you want to search topics. So maybe hashtag Milan Fair to find out what everybody's saying about the Milan Fair. There could be kids out there creating Vine videos, Instagram photos. All of that feeds onto Twitter. They could be tweeting about the fair. So if you want to search hashtag Milan Fair, you're going to find a ton of content about the Milan Fair, and then you could feed that into your website or blog, or you can retweet it and share it with your followers. This is just what the advanced search looks like, where you can search, you can fine-tune your search. So Twitter has 500 million users, and some tips, you want to choose the right name. So for instance, I started a media lab. I helped start a media lab at Macomb Daily. We called it the Macomb Media Lab. And then, and we used the mention sign for that. Sometimes your name is taken, so I'm sure like Milan Chamber may have had to gone through a couple versions. I know when I set up the Saline Chamber account, there was another Saline Chamber on Twitter, a different city, so that was taken. So we had to kind of do different variations of the name. So Twitter has 140 characters, and then they recommend when you're sending a tweet, maybe try to keep it around 55 characters if you can, so people can modify and comment on your tweets. It also allows for you to link to photos and video. So if you're sending a tweet and it has something to do with the news, and you want Heritage News to retweet it, if you mention them, they may just do that. There's also at Saline Milan News is another one that you can use. This is for all of the publications, and then there's Saline Milan News. DM is a direct message where you can email someone on Twitter and send a private message, just like emailing them. And then there's something called bit.ly.com, which allows you to shorten your URLs, which is your address for whatever content you're sharing, and then you can track to see how many visitors looked at it. So if I send out a tweet and I want to know who read that, I have no idea how many people read that. If I create a bit.ly link, it will tell me exactly how many people clicked on that content that I shared. Now this all might seem overwhelming to you, and I throw a lot of information at people, but if you come into the lab, we can work on things one at a time and nail each one down, so don't feel intimidated. But here's some just statistics about Twitter, because this is really growing. Like I said, Facebook is huge, but Twitter's catching up. And it's great for breaking news, reading about breaking news, like the Boston Marathon, all of that. Even the police were posting tweets about the latest developments in that case. So you're going to read the news first on Twitter before it actually gets up on a website. So 4 o'clock is the most retweeted time. These are just some statistics. You can share unique content, tweet interesting and newsworthy links whenever possible. You want to maintain your visibility, so tweet often and tweet in the afternoon. So what can you use Twitter for? Well, you can do a lot with 140 characters, like include video and photos, and it's an easy way to bring you closer to the people and topics you care about. You can monitor the activities and discussions of your audience and community. You can connect with people, follow trends, read developing or breaking news. So I follow a lot of news organizations on Twitter, and that's where you're going to read about breaking news before it even gets online. So, before with the weekly newspaper, the Milan News Leader, you had to wait a whole week to get your news. And then we went online and you get your news fresh every day. With Twitter, you get your news fresh every second. So if a reporter is going out to, let's say, a whole block of downtown Milan's on fire, they're going to tweet it first. I'm en route to a fire in downtown Milan. So you're going to know first before a story's even written and posted online later that day. It's great for crowdsourcing. You can create polls, contests, get feedback and interaction from your audience, your customers, and drive traffic to your content. So you can drive it to your website if you have a business or nonprofit, to your blog, Facebook page, Pinterest, and Tout. Twitter connects you to your customers in real time. Twitter, between the hours of 1 and 3 Eastern Standard Time, will give you the highest click rate, especially in days earlier in the week. Meanwhile, sending a tweet with a link after 8 p.m. should be avoided, as should posting links after 3 on Fridays, because people really aren't looking on Twitter at that time, according to the study. The half-life of a link posted on Twitter is about 2.8 hours. So what that means is on Facebook, you only want to post your message once, and your people are going to see it, but on Twitter, there's just so much activity that you could post the same message every 3 hours, and you're going to reach different people. Just some Twitter tips: be yourself and authentic, stand out, learn the difference between voice and tone, and interact and respond. So for instance, I was also running the Ann Arbor Journal, and I remember getting a couple tweets from people, because they're highly connected there on the internet, and they would say, "I didn't get my paper today," and they would tweet it. So instead of calling circulation or calling the newspaper office, so I would have to respond and apologize, we'll be sending a paper your way, message me your address, and we'll take care of it. So just make sure you respond to people on Twitter. Facebook, a lot of people are on Facebook, and it's great if you have a business or nonprofit. You can share links to content. You can share posts, so general messages, alerts, updates about your products or what your organization is doing. Share photos of what your organization has been up to. I think I have an example in here of a business who shares photos of their new product arrivals. I always check that out, and then I might share that photo and say, "Mom, I want this for my birthday," that kind of thing. But also share events. There's shares, likes. You can feed your Instagram and Pinterest into your Facebook page, and then the notes. This particular business was sharing, they were thanking people. Here it is. It's Willow Tree, which is in Wyandotte. They've connected their Pinterest page. This is their photos of their new arrivals of clothing, and then notes where they're thanking their customers, or maybe they participated in some event in the community, and they're just saying thank you to our customers for attending this event, and that kind of thing. So Tout, as I said, is short form video. So as a community member, you can download this application to your smartphone, or you could do it from your webcam on your laptop. You're able to create 15-second videos. As journalists, we can create 45-second videos, which I showed you earlier. And then it's social media sharing enabled, so you can instantly your video goes out on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+, and Pinterest. So we're really excited about this. We're encouraging our audience, if you come across, let's say, a car crash, and you shoot a 15-second tout, and then you use the mention Saline Mylan News or mention Heritage News, we will then share that with our audience, and then we'll also send a reporter to look into it, so it notifies us of breaking news. So you're sharing breaking news with the community. You can also do this with festivals and events, shoot a quick tout about what's going on, or I even do them if I'm holding a workshop at the Media Lab and say, today is Wednesday at 1 o'clock, we're having someone come in to teach social media to the community. I hope you can attend. This is our address, and boom, it's out there. I have a food blogger who shoots just 15-second videos of the food he's reviewing, and he includes that in his blog. So it's great for bloggers as well. Setup, it's very easy. You're just basically going to tout.com, and you're signing up through your Twitter account. You can also do it on your mobile phone, and it's as easy as once you launch your application, you push this camera button, and you're shooting live. And then that can be shared. So there's some ideas of how you can use Tout. A teaser to your latest blog post if you're a blogger, new product arrivals at your store, and you could feed that into your Facebook page as a merchant, events and fundraiser promotions and coverage, promote contests giving away products, you can share news with the media, share staff promotions, share your opinions and thoughts. A cool feature about this is that you could I have a blogger who does movie reviews, and so he might review a movie and then say, check out my blog for the full review, and then someone could reply with a tout of their own, and then they're connected. So there's his tout saying, okay, this was a great movie, and then someone can respond, they hit reply on his tout, and he could say, oh, I disagree, I didn't like this movie at all. And then those two videos are strung together. So you can get community engagement that way. So we're using it in sports. We're encouraging people. So let's say if you were at a Mylan football game and you shot a 15-second clip of some of the action going on, and you used @ Mylan News or Heritage News, it will be called to the attention of the editor or reporter, and they can share it, or they can download your tout and incorporate it in a bigger video. And then YouTube is just another channel for business owners and nonprofits. I have a YouTube channel for the Media Lab, so I share videos of our workshops on there. And then I've gone on the Lucy Ann Lance radio show and local television, and I've taped that, and then I put it on this channel. So like I said, with the one business owner, she was demonstrating her product, so she had a YouTube channel to show different videos of how to use her products. And then if you want to share that video, you just upload it to YouTube, and then there's something called an Embed Code. that you can share with Heritage Media. So let's say you write a news release, grand opening of your business, or maybe the 10-year anniversary. You write a news release, you shoot a video of your party or just talking about your business, and then you share the embed code from YouTube with the newspaper, and the video will appear within your news article online. There's also Pinterest that's out there that's great for sharing photos. Maybe if you have a photography business, or if you're like the Professional Volunteer Corps and they had a lot of photos of volunteers working at for different organizations and their activities. Some great photos. You want to highlight them on Pinterest. I won't go through all of that. If you want to come to the lab, we can go through that. And then metrics are important. You want to see who is getting your message, how many people are viewing it, and if they're responding and that kind of thing. So there's Google Analytics and there's Google Alerts if you want to be notified anytime someone on social media mentions your business or your nonprofit. Be alerted. They'll just send you an email. Yeah, it can seem overwhelming, but it really is easy. I've learned this all on my own by just exploring and clicking buttons and figuring it out. So, but if you tell me what your needs are, if you come in and say, okay, this is what I do, and this is kind of what I'm trying to reach these people, I can kind of come up with some ideas for you. And I did mention briefly the RebelMouse page. I think every business should have this. And what it does is curate your content. It brings in, and you don't have to do anything. It's automatic. So it will bring in anything you've tweeted, anything RSS feed that you tell it to bring in. So on this page, I have it bringing in my YouTube videos, my Tout videos, my tweets, anything I retweet. I have it bringing in the RSS feed for Heritage News. So any story posted online by Heritage News feeds into this page. So it's like a community site. And I don't have to do anything. I just told it where to get the information.